We're retiring with around $250,000. Not 1 million, not 2 million, as the pundits would have you believe. And when we tell people, they react with alarm, not curiosity. Is that all, they say? What if the market crashes, they say? And my favorite, what if you live to 95? What if you run out? And I say, what if we don't? So when we started talking about retirement, we believed retirement equaled a number. There was a specific number that we thought we needed. And we heard from all the pundits what that was and thought safety was one more zero away. If we just saved and optimized and projected and delayed and had spreadsheets that told us what we should be making and had, important, knowledgeable people tell us, this is how much you need. The goalpost was set, but it kept moving. And every time you have fear involved, it always raises the bar for you. Retirement isn't a solo sport unless you're a solo retiree. For us, it's a partnership decision. And the turning point for us as a couple was not a crash. We didn't lose any money. There was no windfall, no winning the lottery or anything like that. It was just an honest conversation in which Beth asked, would you be upset if we sold this house? And I got to thinking about that for a few minutes. And I asked, so what kind of life are we going to build? Not how much do we need to build it, but what do we want our days to look like together? And that reframed our entire conversation. It reframed what we thought about how we would do retirement. So let's be clear. Beth and I are not reckless. We are not impulsive. This was not an overnight decision on our part to take retirement with only $250,000 in our 401k. We are not ignoring the math of the situation, and we are doing the math as a team. And that math includes long-term care. It includes a reduction in Social Security benefits. We've thought about these things. We've done the math. We've reviewed it. We reviewed it with a financial advisor. And it's agreed that we can make it work. But we had to have an alignment between Beth and I, because if Beth felt unsafe with this, no number would fix it. Our security is our agreement to make retirement work this way. So when we decided to make the move to sell our house, which you can see in other videos that we have on here, and we'll have those at the end, but that move changed everything when we decided to move out of the house. It didn't magically make $250,000 enough, but what we did was we made our lifestyle support that amount as being enough. By downsizing out of our home into our condo, which reduced our overhead quite a bit, we reduced and eliminated the vast majority of debt that we had, and we simplified our lives, which both lowered our fixed expenses, but it also lowered the burn rate, lowered the amount of expenses that we had, money we had coming out of our bank account, thus lowering the pressure on us to make a budget that was 85% of what I make right now. So there's no need for massive withdrawals or perfect returns on the 401k, because we don't have the constant anxiety that we have to take money out of that 401k in order to live. So we've lessened our needs, and by reducing our needs, by controlling our expenses, and having a little flexibility in our lives, we've turned our lives into the ability to live on less, but live more. And we do this by having a shared goal, a shared conviction between Beth and I that this is the way we're going to live. And that is everything to us. Now, the hidden risk that nobody talks about is that you will have couples who have $2 million or more, or $4 million or $10 million who won't retire. And it's not because of the money. They have plenty of money. It's because they don't agree. One may want freedom to retire and do what they want to do, and the other one wants a certainty that money will never run out. And when you have your certainty and your freedom collide, money isn't the problem. The misalignment in what their confirmation of their retirement looks like is. What we're retiring into is a shared purpose. We want to do mentoring. I want to do classes here in the condo community about how to use AI. Most of these people don't even know what AI is. And I would like to help them. I would like them to be a little more up to date on it. So I'd like to mentor some people in how to do that. And I also want to create, as I'm creating this YouTube video, I'm creating this video because I enjoy creating YouTube videos, but I also hope at one point or another that it will become a side income to help us, again, enjoy our lives and have just a little bit more. So having a little bit more because of something you enjoy is a benefit. And I want to stop and take a moment here to ask you, if you're enjoying this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Less is the New Retired channel, because we really enjoy it, and subscribing is free. So our shared purpose includes mentoring, creating, and contributing to the community that we're a part of. And that community is this YouTube channel and other YouTube channels that we have, as well as the local community that we live in. And so we want to create some meaningful projects together. And when you have a shared community, you have intentional relationships. We want to work with the people who we live around. We want to have those relationships in an intentional way. When you're at work, you have friendships, but they disappear. It's not that people don't like you anymore, that work becomes a glue that binds you together. And so when that binding comes apart, those friends tend to disappear. Now, it doesn't always work like that, but a lot of times it does. So when you work on intentional relationships in your shared community, then you bind yourself to people in a personal way. You're not talking about work, you're talking about commonality, bowling or golfing or music, whatever it is that binds you together is what you find to be your connection. Because a retirement without connection can kind of feel a little hollow. And we just don't want that. We want to have a retirement with strong connections across all of our friends and all of our relationships within the community. We also want to create a shared structure for our retirement, because too much freedom creates a tension. And we've seen that on some YouTube channels in which some of the people who are talking about when they retired, they found out how much time they really had on their hands. When you work 40 hours a week, it takes a huge chunk of time out of your week every week. And when you suddenly get that back, if you don't have some kind of designed weekly rhythm, what you're going to do, or have patterns that you go in, like you go to exercise on a certain day, or you have movement and mental stimulation, then you'll find that much freedom has this tendency to be too much, and it overwhelms you, and you feel like you're bored, right? And a lot of people say, well, I wouldn't be bored being retired. Well, you can be. So you want to find time to be together if you're in a couple, or to go out and visit with your relatives, your friends. Spend time with people that you enjoy spending time with. But then you should also spend some time apart. You should spend a little bit of time to yourself, right? Maybe in reflecting on your life, thinking about what you want to get done, what you want to accomplish. And all of this is part of freedom needing a structure or an architecture to say, this is how my retirement's going to look. And that's what we're trying to achieve in what we're doing now. That we have a structure that works best when Beth and I are in agreement and we built the structure how we want to focus on things together. On YouTube, the pundits always use the fear question. What if you run out of money? In fact, your friends may use that as well. What if you run out of money? And I think the harder question that you need to ask yourself, and that we've asked ourselves, is what if we run out of time? Yes, there is a risk of retiring at $250,000, but there's also a risk in delaying the life that we choose intentionally and consciously to live together. So the honest reality is $250,000 is an unlimited amount of money. It requires a certain discipline on expenses and budgeting. It requires smart timing for Social Security, getting Social Security benefits. It requires a flexibility in how you do things. And it requires a budget that you can live with, and one that includes not just the things that you have to pay, but the things that you want to save for. For instance, when we started doing our budget, one of the things I insisted on was that we had to have a certain amount of money going into our savings to buy another car, because we know that one day we're going to need another car, right? So we need to save up like we've got a paid off car, but it's not going to run forever. We're going to have to replace it. And if you're not thinking about those things in advance, then they'll become an emergency. And that's what you don't want in retirement. You don't want to have to pull money out of your 401k for emergencies. And the other thing you want to think about is, what are optional income streams if they're needed by you? Now, not everyone that's watching this may have even $250,000 in a 401k. There are a lot of people who may watch it who have lots more money than that, and I applaud you. You've done a great job using that saving up that money. Please spend it. But those people who don't have that much, who don't even have $250,000, might want to look at different optional income streams, such as YouTube, for instance. Can you tell us in the comments, do you do YouTube videos? And if not, why not? Do you feel like you're too old to understand or to learn how to do YouTube? If so, please let us know, because we've been doing YouTube for a couple of years and we enjoy it, and we can help you out and get you going on it. So, but I think that retirement requires ongoing communication and ongoing thought about how your retirement's going to work. It does not require, however, $1 million to feel allowed to live your life. This has become kind of an identity shift for us. We're not retiring because we won anything. We're retiring because we stopped playing the wrong game. For a long time in our lives, we measured success by how much we accumulated, how much I was making it work, how much things we could have around us. We also stopped letting fear that other people put on us look like wisdom. And we made the conscious, intentional decision, side by side, together, of how we were going to build our retirement. And it was our retirement, we're not going to copy someone else's retirement. We are retiring with $250,000 because our lifestyle supports it. Lower overhead, lower pressure to spend, lower pressure to have more money, and an intentionality and conviction that what we're doing is the right way to do it. Less money, more life, built as a couple together. So our retirement equals Beth and I's commitment. So let me ask you, the viewers of this, and I want to know, have you had the enough conversation with your spouse? Or are you still chasing a number that no one's agreed on? The million or 2 million or 10 million? Are you still working into your 70s because you're afraid that you're going to run out of money? If you can answer these questions honestly in the comments below and let us know, because we're really interested in what you're going through. What do you feel like keeps you from retiring? And some of you may say, well, I don't even have what you have in the bank. And that's okay. I understand that. And there are ways, again, less is the new retirement is this channel, and we want to give you ideas on how you can architect your own retirement and move into it and succeed at retirement. Thank you for watching. I'm Dean Morgan, and Less is the New Retirement is our channel.